Yo, what's good, everybody? We got another Beers with Barton. It is Saturday, September 3rd, 2022. September is here. Hope everyone's having a fantastic weekend. Hopefully a long weekend. Most of us have Labor Day off. And hopefully some of us got an early release. Off early yesterday. But either way, long 3-day weekend. That's fantastic. So, today's episode is a little different than most. Yesterday was my father's birthday. He's been gone for 10 years. Yesterday would have been his 75th birthday. And today actually is the anniversary, 10 years that we had to say goodbye to him here on Earth. So this time of year is always kind of tough. Long story short, 10 years ago, he was a teacher. He had a stroke. Actually, first day of school, and ended up going to a coma. We didn't really know what was going on, severity. Long story short, after about a week or so, we as a family, especially my mom, kind of knew that there was little to no chance of him, A, waking, or B, if he did, it would be anywhere near his old self. So we all got to go back from North Carolina here. My sisters and niece and nephew and myself got to go back and say goodbye to him, basically in a coma. And then, his birthday was yesterday, September 2nd. So when we knew the tough decision that had to be made, my mom, rightfully so, very thankful, was like, hey, let's not do it on his birthday. So we waited till the next day. All the kids agreed, all 5 of us. My mom made the final decision, and 3 minutes after they pulled the life support, my dad was gone from this world. So it's been a decade. It's crazy. First couple of years were really rough, and for a long time, just this time of year, his birthday yesterday, the 2nd, and today were just kind of combined, and it was just tough and just depressing and hard and just angry and bitter. In the last couple of years, probably at least 5 or so, I've really started to kind of separate the two to be able to mentally. And yesterday, his birthday is more of a day of like celebration, and we get together as family and just remembering all the good times. It was a great day yesterday. Tough still, but still a good day. Today's still always kind of hard for me. I never know how I'm going to feel. Never really know what's going to go on this week or this anniversary, which is a decade, 10 years, crazy. Happened to land on a weekend, so kind of nice that it wasn't during the week. But so here we are. Still not sure how I feel. I always say, or I've always heard, people say, time heals all wounds, which is true for some things, for sure, true for a lot of things, and everyone heals differently. But I'll say when it comes to losing a parent, which is a natural progression of life, you typically, hopefully you never have to bury a child. That would be horrible, or even a younger sibling. But especially not a child. Your parents typically pass before you because they're older than you, but you don't really plan to say goodbye, especially with no health issues as a 65-year-old, really a 64-year-old. It's kind of crazy to think about it. And, my daughter, Michaela, is 11, so she passed. I'm sorry, she did not pass. Apologize. My father passed when she was 18 months. She has no memories of him. We talk about him. There's pictures, but she really has zero memories. So that's one of the toughest parts too, is she never really got to know him. And he's such an important part of my life. So anyways, the last couple of years, I've really gotten to a point where instead of being, bitter or angry or sad or depressed about him not being here for the last X amount of years, it's the 30 years that I had with him. The great memories, what he did for not only myself, but, our whole family, my mom and all the kids, and just the good memories that we had. I had great memories of my dad. There's always ups and downs. We didn't come from a lot, but he was a great dad. He cared about us. He loved us to a fault at times, and if that's possible, because I know I struggle with that daily with Michaela. Am I loving you too much? But he was just, Potter. Bro, you gotta chill. I'm in the moment. So it's it's just hard to imagine 10 years. 10 years is a long time. My daughter was barely walking 10 years ago, and now she started middle school and is a young woman. So a lot can happen in 10 years, good, bad, and indifferent. Yesterday was good. Got to hang out with some family. One of my sisters and my niece were able to come. We had dinner. We hung out. We had good memories. Just fun to catch up. And that was great. Yeah, today it's been a little weird. It's kind of hanging out, nothing crazy going on, but at the end of the day, you just got to remember the good times. A lot of good family around, a lot of good friends who understand what you're going through. Who've lost parents as well, which doesn't make it easier, but it kind of gives you that connection to know there's others out there that understand how you feel, and everyone heals differently. So, Dad, I can't express. I just never have the right words to truly express how I feel, because sometimes I don't even know how I feel. But I miss you. I think about you often, if not daily, and especially this time of year around your birthday and your anniversary. I just wish you were here. I wish I could say I love you one more time. So I love you. I know you're pardoned in heaven. I know you're probably drinking a nice big glass of red wine. Hopefully Chandler's running around and biting at your heels, because that's probably what he would do. And I miss you. I miss you so much. I'm just very thankful for everything you did for us and for the man you helped me become. I'm not perfect. I make a lot of mistakes, as I know you did too. But you still taught us so much, and you did so much for us. And I wouldn't be half the person I am today without you. And I will always forever be thankful for you and Mom, of course, for giving us what we had growing up. So I don't have a special beer because I don't know what beer would be special. My dad wasn't a big beer drinker. He's more of a wine guy. And he didn't drink a ton anyway. So it's Oktoberfest, smooth, solid, it's full flavored. It's fall time. I like it, which means my dad would probably like it. So this one's for you, Dad. I really don't have much else to say. I could ramble on forever about him. I could share memories. The other thing I will add, a little JMO. Like I said, my dad wasn't a huge drinker. He did start drinking wine towards the end, but I know he kind of grew up around, alcohol wasn't always viewed positively, so we kind of shied away from it. But my younger brother and I, when I was still living in California, I was out of the house, but we were hanging out one night. We're at my parents' house, and we had a bottle of Jameson, and I remember pouring a little shot, saying, "Come on, Dad, try it." And, he was like, I wouldn't say he's anti-alcohol, but he definitely was shying away from it. So he said, "All right, I'll try it." Fine. I was just trying to, I was still just experience all the different alcohols at age. This is 20 years ago, maybe 15 at least. And he took a little sip, and I remember him going, and I quote, "This one's for you, Dad." "That's not that bad." And I kind of laughed about it. So every year I take a little Jameson, which I like Jameson anyway, in remembrance of that memory. One of the many that I have of you. I just kind of chuckle. Man, I miss you, Dad. I miss you so much. I really wish you were here. But just trying to spend the time remembering the good times. So cheers to Dad and all the good memories and everything you gave to us. I truly love you with all my heart, and I'm just so very thankful that you're my dad. I couldn't have asked for anyone else. Cheers. Oktoberfest, smooth, solid, full flavored. I love you, Dad. It's delicious. Well, gonna wrap it up. We had a memorial service for my father a couple weeks after he passed. My high school principal, Jessica's high school principal at two different schools, and the honorable pastor that married Jessica and I, so someone that was very important in my life, Jessica's life, and our lives together, He allowed us to use his church at the time to hold the memorial service at no charge, mind you, 10 years ago. So forever thankful to you for Mr. Jesse Reddock. Thank you for being such a big part of my life, being a good friend of my father, being Jessica's high school principal, as well as marrying us. So thank you. And his church was pretty good size. I don't know how many it could hold, a couple hundred, a couple thousand. I don't know. It was a pretty good sized church. And so many people showed up for my dad's memorial that they're standing outside. So that meant a ton. A lot of ex-students and just people he knew. Excuse me. So I know he touched so many lives, and I'm forever thankful. And so when I gave a eulogy and shared about how much my dad meant to me and how much I missed him, and very emotional day. But I just remember at the end, it was kind of off script. I wrote myself some notes, a little speech, quote unquote. And at the very end, luckily halfway through, as I was bawling my eyes out and could barely hold together, my lovely wife, Mrs. Barton, came up and held me, which was the only thing that got me through that. I said, you know what? I always used to laugh because my dad would always say, thank you for being my son. Thank you for being my son. And I always thought that was a funny way to say it. And I was like, my dad and I had ups and downs as we grew up, as always. I was an asshole as a kid, I'm sure. Second swear, whatever, on Beers with Barton. But we were very close as I grew older, especially as I moved away and became a parent and got married and all that good stuff. Got married and then became a parent. But I always thought that was funny because I always was like, I didn't have a choice. I didn't get to choose who my parents were. I didn't get to choose the situation. I was born into this. But now that I'm a father myself, I'm going to try to be the best father, the best man, the best example I can be. And I fail every day, but I just try to get better also, is that I know why he said it. It makes a lot of sense now, because if I could do it 1,000 times over, I would always choose my father to be my dad. 100, 1,000, 1,000,000 times over. So, you know what, Dad? I don't know if I ever said it. I hope I did. But thank you for being my dad. Thank you for choosing me. And I wouldn't want it any other way. And I know that without a doubt. I love you so much. And you mean the world to me. And I miss you every single day. So I'm going to close this one out. Just thank you again for everything you did for us. So cheers to you, Dad. I know you're in no pain, and you're up in heaven, and you're with your mom and dad. So that gives me some good feels. So cheers to you, Dad. Mr. B. And that's it. Love you, Dad. I love you, Mychly. Until next time. Deuces.